Presentation, I would like to present to you two different set of files that I have. One is for the source file that have no alpha, which is this one here, and another set of file with a mix of alpha source file with some elements that I have used from Nuke. Okay, in the first part of this presentation, since we are looking for the alpha, okay, I have a combination of one color bar and a constant. Okay, the two of them, as you can see here, they only have the RGB colors. Okay, there is no alpha present. So when we take a look at it with the viewer, this is what we get, a mix of two different files. Okay, and when we mix them together, this is the problem that we get. Why is that we are getting this kind of problem? Okay, one, if we check, let's say this one, which is the constant, okay, one full color. When we select it and we pass across the pointer, we can see that there is a constant mixing of colors for the red. Okay, you can see them here, red, green, and blue. That combination of color is what makes the yellow. But when we check the last channel, this one here, okay, now you can see, okay, sorry, here, it shows 0, meaning that there is some sort of transparency there. Okay, 0 for transparency. Same thing happened with the other one. Okay, we select that one, we check the different combination of color, like here, let's say for the red color we have 0.5, 0.0 for the green, 0.0 for the blue, and 0.0 meaning there is no meaning that there is a semi-transparent color. Okay, for this red to be totally red and not showing those kind of transparency, we need to make it that the alpha channel to make we need to make it to be number 1. Okay, that is why when we make the merge, when we merge it, we get this kind of problem. This is where the shuffle node comes in handy. We open it, we can see that by default, okay, it comes in this way, this selection for the RGB and the alpha color. We introduce it into the pipe to see what happens. Okay, still nothing happens. Then that means that we still need to work on this side of the property for the shuffle. Then we proceed. Let's say we need the alpha channel, okay, not to be 0 as it is already 0, but we need it to be 1. So once we check that for the alpha channel, okay, the number 1 here, we get to see the true color for the color bar on top of the constant one. This means that in a sort of layer, the A pipe is over, as it says on the merge, the B. This means that this one is behind and this one is in the front. We won't be needing this other RGB color for this purpose. We only need the alpha color to get through, and that's how we solve, well, let's say the problem with the alpha channel missing there. We close the window. Now we proceed to the next one. In this case, we have the same thing as before, okay? But what we do in this case is to introduce a roto alpha in between. We will select this first, the merge. We're still getting the same problem as before. This time there will be no need to use a shuffle node for the purpose of forcing an alpha channel. So instead what we are gonna do is to use a roto alpha node. Okay, once we introduce the roto alpha node, we are just fixing the problem with the alpha missing there. Why? Because the roto that we apply here, in this case I just added a square. Okay, you can see it here, this a square. Okay, that I did it with this tool, the rectangle tool. Okay, that's how I draw it, and that's how we got the shape, the square shape. But we still have some problems. So how we solve the problem? I mean, you can see here, okay, that I mean, it's not a problem actually. It's just a viewing problem on the viewer, not actually on the alpha channel. Because when we switch here, when we have the time to switch here, not here, sorry, RGB to the alpha, okay, or we can also press A. In this case, we'll do it faster by pressing A. When we press A, see, this is what we get, meaning this white part that was created by the roto node is gonna be showing entirely entirely what is in front. And as you can see here, is showing here on the alpha channel that is showing to be number 1, where when we approach the black part, the outside of the roto shape, okay, we are getting there that we have 0, meaning that we are going to be able to see through this black area. We'll switch back, pressing A again on the viewer to go back to the RGBA look on the viewer. Okay, we are gonna close this thing that we won't need it anymore, and as you can see, there it is. I mean, we can have this thing transparent, but still we still are having some problem, because in the viewer we need to add down the pipe a premold node. The purpose of the premold node is for the viewer to work as an RGB. Here you can see RGB viewer, since according or supposedly that the way Nuke works is in a linear workflow internally. Okay, same thing as in with Maya. Okay, so we proceed, get the premold and get it in between, and then we fix visually the problem in the viewer, even though the problem had been already solved once we got the roto in, because we checked by pressing A, looking for the alpha, okay, that it was already present here, alpha here, the number 1, which means that this color here are gonna be showing through purely, okay, and it was even showing here. And this here it was showing 0, and here it was showing 1 in the alpha channel. Okay, we switch back to the viewer. Then we move on to the next set. The next element within the set of the source file not having alpha. We select the next one by selecting the merge node, pressing 1. Still same thing as the first one and the second one when we start at the beginning. And this time what we are gonna do is, instead of using the roto and introduce it into the pipeline directly, okay, we are going to be introducing the same roto with the same square shape we have for the one before. We are going to be introducing it, incorporating it into the pipe, not on the B, but as usually we do for a merge node when we want to use it for a mask. So we pull this one out, okay, of the node, the mask, and get it connected to the roto alpha. So here we get the same thing, same problem, okay, still 0, 0, 0 everywhere. Okay, you can see there 0 everywhere. We press A, it's still showing nothing. Why? Because that means that everything is transparent, meaning that when we mix it with the yellow, the bar with the yellow, it's gonna be having the problem that we are looking in the viewer. So by opening the roto, we get here the same square shape we did with the roto tool. Okay, the square roto tool. And this time, in order to fix the problem, since the reason why we are not able to see through here the color bar is because there is no alpha present here. Okay, so in order to introduce the alpha, we are going to use the shuffle here. You open the shuffle in the property panel, it comes always as usual here. We deselect the R, G, B, we don't need it. We select the 1, okay, in order to make it visible in the alpha channel. Okay, select 1, and after we do that, it's still, let's say, still select those, but we will unselect them, we don't need them. Okay, and we grab the shuffle node and put it into the pipe right before the mask with the merge node. Okay, and here we are, we have the solution. Okay, when we pass through the pointer on the yellow side, we can see that there is 0, meaning for transparent for the color bar which is on top and the one which is behind. This means that the color bar, when we introduce the roto in this way as a mask, we are masking around, meaning blocking some area. We're blocking this area. In that way, letting it through the yellow to be seen behind through the 0 alpha here present, and okay, 0 alpha here present, and the presence of the alpha 1 here. And just to double check, we will press the letter A, same thing as if we go here, the RGB for alpha. Okay, we press the letter A, and there we are, meaning that everything that is within the white part, this one which was created by the roto alpha, okay, is gonna be opaque. That means that we are going to be able to see it in the alpha channel, and we are not going to be able on the black side, because it's going to be transparent, to let me see through the transparent side, okay, this yellow color. We will switch from alpha, okay, we see from the alpha channel display through the RGB, sRGB, and there we have the solution. That means that we already have on this side the alpha channel. Now we'll go to the other set of file, which are the one, okay, that have the combination, that have the alpha. And this kind of alpha, I work it from Photoshop. I have heard some people saying, okay, that they don't like the way Photoshop handled the alpha because the transparency there. Then when you bring it into Nuke, you get some problem because it shows as a white image, something similar to this. Okay, when we view it. Okay, I'm gonna close this because this is from the previous sets. Okay, so here is what happened. I mean, even though there is an alpha channel present here, as you can see, there is 0 here. As you can see, 0 here. Okay, check it out, 0 here. Okay, and when I move the pointer over the image, okay, that I'm trying to show in on my working file, I see the number one present, meaning that this is able to show true. I can even press the letter A for the A channel, and to see if that image, okay, it really has a channel, an alpha channel incorporated. So there you are. I mean, meaning 1 is for the opaque part and 0 for the black side, meaning for in order to show transparency. Okay, we'll switch back by pressing A. Okay, there I am. So this time I have incorporated already a reformat node for the reason of conforming, let's say, to the original setting for the Nuke, which I have it for the 2K. Okay, for the 2K resolution. So I will switch there. So see you there. You can say the 2K super whatever measure and for the dimensions. Then I will move on to the merge. Okay, by selecting it, pressing 1. Okay, and there you are. I mean, in spite, okay, that here in the viewer I do not see this yellow connection coming from B through here as I wanted to do it. Okay, because this is the reason I work it out on Photoshop. If I press, or if I go here and press the letter A, okay, I will press the letter A now on the keyboard. There you can see that there is the present, okay, of the alpha channel or the mask created, okay. For 0, meaning for transparency, that means that on these all black areas there should be white. The mixture of this and this. This is standing, as you can see here, on the B pipe, which is behind the A pipe, which is supposed to be up front. Okay, I will switch again to the viewer by pressing A. So I go back. And what's the problem here? Okay, even though in the linear workflow of Nuke inside, when we check it with the letter A, it's working all right. In the viewer, we are not able to see it with the sRGB format. Press A again. So in this case, what we will do in order to help us view what we are working on, okay, is to put into place a promote node down the pipe to help us see this time through the yellow on the background. See, and there you are, there you have it. Same thing. It hasn't affected at all the structure for the pipe. I will switch to A again and see still working even in the, on the alpha channel. It's still working the same. It hasn't affected at all. It's just that the promote has helped us to view in the mirror, okay, in the format of RGB, since the working inside Nuke is a linear workflow, same thing as in Maya, as I repeated before. We'll move on to the next set, okay, which is this is by selecting the source file with the read node, and we'll select it with number 1, and this is what I get. Actually, this is a problem. I don't know why. Sorry about that. I mean, working in a small computer, it takes a while, even though it's not much what it's doing. Okay, so this is the problem. I am working with PNG file that I did in Photoshop. Okay, I wrote to it in Photoshop by creating a mask around the boxes from the full image, which is actually this one here to the right. I will show it to you how the full image is. Okay, which is that one. But give it some time, please. Okay, there it is. So I just needed some part of the image, some areas of the boxes that I needed for a work that I am doing, okay, in a separate project that I have. So I will go back and move here, selecting it, pressing 1, and this is some errors that Photoshop or Nuke is misinterpreting, perhaps from the workflow in between Photoshop and Nuke. Okay, so sorry about that. But just don't pay attention, because this doesn't mean that the PNG file is corrupted or so. If you don't trust but what you are seeing here in the viewer, because of this, let's say, area that we're not supposed to be here, because this all white area was supposed to be around here in the roto, just press again the A or select here for the alpha. Okay, and there you can see that all the roto part around the area that I needed to be seen with the white for the opaque parts having number 1 as here in the alpha channel, as you can see, and 0 here for same thing for the alpha channel. Okay, it's still there. You can see here, okay, the edges. I will switch again to the regular view by pressing A, and as you can see, even though in the viewer you see it like this, okay, it is correctly showing in the linear workflow. But if this is bothering you, what you can do in this case, okay, some files support alpha channel, some other one don't. Okay, I believe that JPEG file they don't, but PNG and Photoshop file with PSD that you can import into Nuke, they perform very well when you are working on your project. So here it is. If you don't like the way it looks here, even though within the linear workflow internal in Nuke is working fine, what you can do is either to introduce a premult, same thing, okay, or you can double click on the PNG file, okay, and press same thing here. You can do that as well, either introduce the premult here or check the premult, because it also has the option to premultiply the image. So I selected it, and there it is, voila. See, showing same thing, 0 for transparency and 1 for showing what I needed, the areas that I needed. Okay, and as it was before, okay, I have proved to you that even when I had this one without the premult, when I was moving the pointer around this area, there was still 0, as you can see here, 0, not 1, 0 as it was here, same thing, present, meaning that this area is also transparent. Okay, but since you are used to in Nuke to see this area instead of white as it is brought in from Photoshop, when some people don't like it, then you just go and press the premult, and there you are. Okay, but you have 2 ways. One last thing that I did, okay, is to use some kind of a mask, okay, a way that I did a mask in Photoshop. And if you go to Photoshop, this is what you can do. I had on the beginning, first on the beginning, hold on, the same image as in Nuke, okay, the original one. I created a mask. Okay, once I did the mask, was this mask here was on this layer before. So what I did was, because I was so lazy to go around with the feather and select the points again, so what I did was to use a mask that I used before, and selected it and move it onto a new layer. Okay, I didn't want to use this, so I unselected it, and then what I did was, with the picture, okay, and with the black color, selected it inverse and then painted all this area here in black. Okay, and that's how I get it here. And one more thing was that I went to the channels, and I think this would not affect, but actually what I did was to unselect all the RGB, to select the mask. Okay, select the mask, which is the same thing as this one here. Okay, select the mask, and unselected the other ones, and then I proceeded to File, and save as, and save it, and save it as a PSD file. Okay, so that's what I did, and that's how I got here into the how I got this sort of a mask on this other side. To this mask, since this has some different measures, and I need to still work accordingly to the 2K supersizing on the mirror, I added a reformat. So here I have it ready. So I will select the original image, which I have it in Nuke. Press 1. There is my original image with the reformat. Then we'll select the reformat by selecting it and pressing 1 again. I needed to work with the size. Hold on, it's working. It is working a little bit. Giving me some problems. Oh, there you are. 2K, okay? So what I have worked afterwards is, okay, this shuffle, hold on. I also added a reformat for the mask that I imported from Nuke. So I will select it by pressing Control and the reformat node down here to move it to my right, both at the same time. Instead of just the reformat node, you can do that by pressing the Control or the Command key on Mac and select the one at the bottom, okay, and in that case you select both. So here what I need to do is to go down here, okay, to the merge and see the result. Press 1. Okay, it's showing me what is going through the pipe A, and I needed to use this as a mask. So what I'm gonna do is okay, let me see this. I need to double check. Okay, there, no, that's right. It's as it was original. I select the mask here, okay, the connector for the mask, and connect it to the button of the read file for the mask with the reformat, and this is what I get. Okay, this is what I get. The reason that I get this is because the black part on just in the viewer is showing that this is 0 and this is 0. Okay, this is 0 and this is 0, and that happens because this image here, as you can see, it's only RGB, red, green, and blue, but the alpha channel is missing. And in this case, for this image, we need to have, for this area here, okay, an alpha channel of 0, and for the black areas of this mask, an alpha channel of 1, number 1. Okay, so what we are gonna do here, we will check just for the fun of it, okay, by going to the RGB and press alpha, select alpha, or press A. There is nothing there. Why? Because this is an RGB image. We are seeing nothing there. Okay, so even if we have already incorporated in the mask this image with some setting for the alpha channel here, I'm not getting to see here what is going to be true, because there is no alpha channel here present. So what we're gonna do is to double click the shuffle, okay, same as we did before, and select the RGB, red, green, and blue. Since it is already there on the image, we don't need, let's say, to include the RGB there, and select one for visibility, and there you can see, okay, there you can see that we are able now to see, okay, that the black part on the alpha channel, we're still on the alpha channel to see the linear workflow, okay, the black for 0, meaning transparent, okay, and the white for 1. Okay, we'll see what happened. Then we switch, okay, we switch by pressing A, and still we have this. But the reason we have this is because no matter what we did in Photoshop, okay, because we wanted to have, let's say, this format of a mask that we are used to in Nuke, and not same format as a mask that the Photoshop is doing, like putting black instead, I'm sorry, by putting white for transparency instead of black. So this time what we are gonna do to fix this problem, okay, once we have the channel, once we have the alpha channel, we will unselect the RGB, we don't need them, close this, and we will open the merge node. Since we know that we are working through a mask to select this part of this original image, through which down the pipe we are introducing a alpha channel through the shuffle node, okay, what we are going to do this time is going into the mask here and select invert, and there's how we get finally, okay, on the RGB the way how it should be on the viewer. Sorry, it was taking a little bit long because I guess the computer is from the Cape time, so and I apologize for that. So as you can see there, okay, we have it as an RGB on the viewer. Okay, still here is the 1 to make it visible, the alpha channel, and 0 to make it transparent. I forgot to add here constant. But before we do the constant, we will select this, copy it, okay, and paste it here a little bit outside. We will use it for the purpose, okay, of continuing showing this demonstration. Before we do that, we'll press A again to see what happened, and there is still there within the linear workflow the alpha channel here, okay. Here is for the opaque part, should be 1, perfect, 1 is showing here, and here should be 0, okay, for the black part, for the transparent part, as it is showing also here. Switch back again to the sRGB, okay, to the mirror, sorry, to the viewer, by pressing A to the RGB loop. And what we are gonna do here, in this case, is down the merge pipe, we are going to introduce, by pressing the tab, a merge node. Okay, we select the merge node. There it goes down here. Okay, just for the purpose of finishing this demonstration, we will approach a little bit. We want this, meaning the image on top, okay, to be on the pipe A, and this one on the connector B. Okay, so this means that this is going to be behind the one for the boxes, the image for the boxes. So when I get it connected, there you are. You will have to give it some time for that line. I guess that's because it is the computer is computing, and there you are. See, that's why it's taking some time. Well, that's it. I hope it has helped you a lot by getting a light of it. I thought that it was gonna take me longer time, but thank you for watching and listening. And this is Selva. Okay, nice to be with you. Thank you, and have a nice, great day.